Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through my tips for the AFLW round 8 of the season, as well as reviewing my tips for round 7 and seeing how I go, and how if I can surge back into the sort of the top 2k or so after having a pretty bad start to the season, but and definitely in the doubles catching it back up, as during the doubles I think I've gone from at least the start of the, well, actually, to start the doubles, I was actually around about the 1,600 rank. So I've actually dropped in the doubles. But yeah, after a really pathetic second round of the doubles, I've come back in the last sort of 2 weeks and almost half my rank. But anyway, let's jump into this video. So to start it, I was 2,891st to start the round. And to start this round, I'm now 2,675th. So not that much of an improvement of 8 out of 11, and I think I even lost one to the leaders, but still an all right round, which we'll go through. I think there was 1 or 2 tips. Yeah, definitely the St Kilda vs Melbourne one. If I'd gotten that one right, I probably would be sitting somewhere around this 2,000 marker, I would think, give or take. I think that's near enough where I was around before the tip, before that tip went in, and yeah, I got that one wrong. So starting off, St Kilda versus GWS, I had St Kilda by 20. They ended up winning by, 34? So not the worst tip, not the best tip. A correct tip of a margin of 14 is not the worst, not the best. It's sort of just around about that. Then you've got, and yes, we all pretty much saw that St Kilda were going to win this game. Then you have the likes of Adelaide against Melbourne. Did not expect this one. I thought Adelaide probably should have buried this game, but in the end, they really played poorly. And I think it was 2 goals, 2 goals for, very low scoring. And I had Adelaide by 35. I thought they would destroy Melbourne, and I think I even said that. And obviously not the case, given that Adelaide lost, and Melbourne definitely keep their finals hopes alive now, 4-4. If they can win 3 out of their last 4, or even 2 out of their last, 3 out of their last 3, or 2 out of their last 3, I suspect they'll make it in. Just looking at this, given that 5-3 is up in 6th place, so I think that if they were to go 2-1 in their last 3 games, I suspect they get into this sort of 7th or 8th region here, and 3 wins and no losses will get them, I suspect, probably 6th. But yeah, it all depends on how they rally now that they've had 2 big wins on teams. I mean, Adelaide were hunting for this sort of top spot here in and around this top 4 spot, but definitely pegging back. If they hadn't beaten St Kilda and then being 3-5 and St Kilda 5-3, probably season over, I would say. Port Adelaide against Collingwood. Port get a big win to keep their finals hopes alive. They're now just percentage out of the 8, which is a huge improvement for the club, and I think really a testament to how well run they are and how they've really drafted. I mean, they got lucky with the South Australian talent, but still they've done really well to draft the talent that they have in the last year or 2. Schultz, Window, Wenland, Goody, all of them in the last, I mean, Wenland's been there for I think a while now, but I think. But yeah, all those youngsters are really developing, as well as the they bring in like Lamb and Dowrick, I think, has been at the club a little while now, but all those sort of, also those mature ages are doing really, really well. So they're just bonding, and it's just working for Port. So yeah, I had Port by 20. They ended up winning by 8, a lot closer than I thought, but the wind sort of swayed that game. It went back and forth, back and forth. So yeah. Then you have Essendon. I had by 26. They won by 23. That's a pretty good tip, to be honest with you. I'm pretty happy about that. Had Hawthorn by 24. Thought West Coast would give more fight in this one. They are basically playing for finals, West Coast. And much like Melbourne, I think, due to their percentage as well, they basically have to win. I think now, thinking about their percentage, Melbourne probably have to win 3 to get in. West Coast, same thing applies pretty much. They need to win 3. So annoyed that game blew out, but Hawthorn are just really good this year. Men's and women's, they've probably been the surprise packet and probably one of the funnest teams to actually watch all year. Richmond versus Geelong, this was definitely a tight one. I had Richmond by 23 in the end. I thought Geelong wouldn't put much of a fight up, but they did this week, so yeah, only by 7. Brisbane against Gold Coast. I had Brisbane by 52. They won by 16. Gold Coast definitely put up a lot more fight than I thought would, and so yeah, they won that. And then Carlton shocked everyone and beat Fremantle. I had Freo by 36, and they ended up winning. Did Carlton, so 40 points off there. Then North won by 60. I had them by 58. If you actually watched the game, you probably thought this was about a 5 or 6 goal win for North. It was probably about the deserved margin, but they were just well too efficient on counter attacks, and then also well too efficient just stopping Sydney scoring after about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. They just stopped Sydney scoring. Sydney scored 9 points in the remaining 3 quarters. And 6 of those points was the last goal with about 5 or 6 minutes to go. So you can just tell Sydney won the inside 50s count, but deserved to lose this game, but probably not as comfortably as it was. Then I had St Kilda by 14, and they ended up losing by 14. So if I just go Melbourne here, I'd be looking really, really good with that tip being spot on. And then I had Adelaide by 46, and what's that? A 64-point margin, so 18 points off there, 3 goals. Not the worst tip, given that we knew it was going to be a bloodbath that game. Then we go over to round 8 starting tonight, and it's Carlton against Western Bulldogs. I think I'm going to agree with the crowd on this one that Carlton are going to win this game. I think that Western Bulldogs have been really poor recently. I think they will come up more attacking because they'll have an extra break again, and it will be only like 3 games and 14 games rather than 5 and 23 or whatever it was heading into their game against the Bombers. So I think they'll be more attacking, but I think Carlton will be able to win this one by 14 points. Because I don't think Carlton are that great, but I think that they're riding a momentum at the moment, and I think Western Bulldogs should at least be somewhat competitive. So if Western Bulldogs lost to Essendon by 23, I think that they lose by maybe 18 points, actually, now thinking about it. So there's that one. Then you have Port Adelaide against St Kilda. This is a tough one. I think St Kilda will bounce back, to be honest, after their poor showing against Melbourne. I think Port are definitely running hot at the moment, but I think St Kilda will bounce back. I think they probably have the more experience, and so I think they win this game by, I think it will be a close one, but they'll win by 12 points. Hawthorn, that's an easy choice there. I think that they win this one by, I think they win it by 12 points. Sorry, not 12 points. I don't know. I was thinking about the Sydney versus Gold Coast game next rather than actually just typing up this result here. I think Hawthorn will probably win this one by 7 goals or so 42 points. As they'll just blow them away. They're a high-scoring team. GWS don't score the most. They concede also a lot, GWS. So, yeah, I think that's right. Sydney against Gold Coast. Sydney look absolutely... I just don't think Gold Coast will be able to halt Sydney as much as the likes of North were able to. I think Sydney still have an alright dominance in the sort of getting it into inside 50. I think they just struggled to put a score on, and that's indicative of their forwards, much to the opposite of the Swans' actual forwards in the men's. They sort of, if they swap those two around, the scoring power of the forwards, Sydney would be on fire, but yeah, obviously not. And so yeah, I think Sydney get over the line here by 2 goals. I don't think it will be as pretty. I don't think a 94% to 6% ratio probably does it justice. Richmond against Melbourne. I really like the way Richmond are playing. Melbourne are definitely showing some bite, I guess you would say, and could definitely win this game. I think Richmond win this game, sure up finals, I think it would be. Yeah, they would sure up finals at 7-2 with a good percentage. And they'd also kill off probably Melbourne's finals chances at that point, I would say. So I think Richmond are going to win this one by 15 points. Then we go over to Fremantle against West Coast. Fremantle, I think, win the derby here. I think they win it pretty comfortably as well by about 26 points. I think, not 206, 26 points. I think they win it by 26 points and pretty comfortably also confirm themselves. Well, not exactly actually now thinking about it, but relatively, they'll probably win another game. So that makes them probably about a 75-80% chance of making finals if they win this one. Brisbane against Geelong. I think Brisbane are probably the sort of odds-on to be runners-up to North Melbourne with the way North are playing at the moment. So, yeah, I think that will be an interesting grand final if it is. I think it will be a good grand final if it's North versus either Brisbane or Adelaide, whichever one it is. So I just don't see North losing before the grand final. And Brisbane versus Adelaide look like the biggest competitors for them. Maybe Hawks would also be an interesting grand final, but I don't know if North would do well against Hawks. But yeah, Brisbane look like one of the competitors for that final berth and would be a competitor against would be a good game against North, I would say. The reigning premiers as well. So yeah, I think they beat Geelong here by 4 goals, 24 points. Then we go over North against Essendon. I think North win this one, even though Essendon have been pretty good this year. Essendon are still placed in where are they? 7th place. So I think this may knock them out of the 8 for the round, but they do get the toughest test out of the way in North Melbourne. So I think North win this one by 35 points. I know that that's probably a little bit out there, but I think North is just blowing away pretty much any side at the moment. And then Adelaide, I think they blow apart Collingwood after a pretty disappointing loss against Melbourne. I think they bounce back in the next 2 games, confirm finals for them at 7-2 with a massive percentage. That'll pretty much confirm finals. So I think they pretty much lock in finals with a 40-point victory against Collingwood. So that is the video there, going through all of the tips for round 8 of the AFLW season. And if you did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the first game review of the round, which will be Carlton versus Western Bulldogs. So I'll see you guys in that video. Bye guys.